What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. And man, it cannot get much worse for Kris Bryant, the former Rookie of the Year, MVP, World Series champion. Rockies fans are as patient as it gets, and even they have lost their patience. Yankees fans have reached their limits with Marcus Stroman. They're basically saying that he's been a big fat baby. He cried about wanting to be a starter, and now that he's been that starter, he's been awful. Mike Trout is on pace for 75 home runs after his recent power surge, but the Astros, they reminded the Angels who's been daddy over the last decade. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he turned in his nastiest start by far, and Pete Alonso, if he keeps this up, he's 1,000,000,000% going to opt out and get an even fatter bag. He's been raking. So again, we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap. And don't forget that recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Save yourself $20 off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy. And also, recap is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Right now, I know a lot of you guys like golf, so if you download Underdog Fantasy using code Fuzzy, you get a free Bryson DeChambeau Masters pick on me. You're welcome. Fernando is back. I thought that he was going to be missing some time. Nope. We're going to see him wreaking some havoc on the bases in just a second. Nick Pivetta, he's rewarding the Padres big time for giving him that last-minute offer. Again, he was one of the later signings of the offseason, and he's already paying big dividends. That's a strikeout of Zach Veen. German Marquez, he sat down the first 6 Padres that he faced, make it 7. Nick Martini with the balancing act over there. He and some lady made eye contact, and then the Rockies fully imploded after that. Jose Iglesias, I think he's a former Rocky. He singles in Xander Bogaerts. Then there was a catcher's interference to allow both base runners to advance, and then they both scored. Elias Diaz has a 2-run single. Tatis, he's steals second base with ease. Hunter, my guy, Hunter Goodman, why did you throw that? That is a tough inning for the Colorado backstop between the interference and that bad throw. Manny, he just hugs the line. That's an RBI double, and Tatis, he made sure to finish his swing with 2 hands this time. He's not trying to have that shoulder pinch again. He's batting .375 with 3 home runs and 6 stolen bases. He is healthy. Gavin Sheets, he tucked the Rockies in for good night, and he's up to 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. So the new guys, they're showing up big time. Sheets a home run, Iglesias multiple RBIs. Pivetta, he struck out double-digit Rockies, 10 strikeouts, only walked 1, 3 base hits. The Padres are 11-3. You know who's not 11-3? Kris Bryant's Rockies. Can you even call them his team anymore? He was hitless again, and a couple games ago, he struck out with the bases loaded. I haven't heard Rockies fans boo that loud, I don't think, in my life. Remember, they gave this guy $180 million, and it looks like 180 of it is going to be down the drain because he's only played in 160-ish games. He has a negative 1.5 WAR with the Rockies, and he's had like 10 health mishaps since signing that contract. So is it his fault? I mean, he can't stay healthy, which sometimes isn't his fault. Honestly, at this point, I feel bad for both Rockies fans and Kris Bryant. Maybe they need a fresh start. The Padres are leading the way with 11 wins, but the Dodgers, they can match it with a sick Yoshinobu Yamamoto start. And yes, I am foreshadowing, okay? I just watched The White Lotus. I'm trying to get better at making script. Freddie, he's in the lineup, and he's got a bobblehead night. I think that's his World Series bobblehead, by the way. And Charlie, his son, is throwing out the first pitch. So a lot of good vibes. And then he strikes out against Matthew Boyd. But Yamamoto, he was dialed in. I think he struck out 4 of the first 6 Cubs hitters that he faced. He didn't strike out anyone in the 3rd, but he got right back to it in the 4th. Down goes Ian Happ. I think at one point he retired 10 in a row. And there goes the no-no. Of course, Kyle Tucker ruins it. He skates in for a double. Seiya, he got on as well, but he ran into an out. Maybe he thought that the throw was going home, and there's the splitter. Yoshinobu's splitter is disgusting. He let out a yell. Back out for the 6th inning. He's over 100 pitches, 2 more strikeouts. He had 9 strikeouts over 6 scoreless. The only thing is Matthew Boyd was really efficient, and he's also trying to go 6 scoreless. A runner's on for Freddie, and he got hit. That means that Tommy Tanks, when he cranked out another home run, it's a 3-run home run. This doesn't seem real. He had 6 home runs all of last year. He has 6 in 15 games to start this season. He's been a top 10 hitter since last year, if you're including the postseason. Not all of last year, but since the postseason. Tanner Scott had an easy breezy 1-2-3 final frame. He's got 4 saves on the year, so the Dodgers are 11-4. The Cubs have lost 2 in a row, but they're still 7-3 over their last 10. I never thought I'd be saying this, but my Jacob Amaya cards might finally have some life. I spent a few bucks on his cards a few years back during that shortened season. He was a Dodgers prospect, and he's bounced around a lot. Maybe he finds a home in Chicago. I don't know. That's a 2-run knock. Michael Taylor and Chase Meadroth, who was making his MLB debut, by the way. He came on over in the Garrett Crochet trade. There he is going oppo for his first big league base hit. And by the way, he was an on-base god. He had more strikeouts than walks in his minor league career. He showed that he had 3 walks and a base hit. He's the first guy to do that in their debut since the Hall of Famer Larry Walker. Miguel Vargas, he is trying desperately to snap out of an early season slump. That is a 2-run double. Luis Robert, he showed off all the tools. He flicked his wrist for a single, so he's just using that strength. Vargas scores. Then he got himself into scoring position with his 5th stolen base already. Lenin Sosa says, thank you for getting in scoring position. He taps it in. What are the White Sox doing to the Red Sox? Omar Narvaez, he fights one off the end of the bat to score. Lenin, he found another patch of grass. Luis flies around again. He looks 100%, by the way. It's an 11 spot after Brooks Baldwin ends it. Sosa, he's in safely ahead of the throw. The White Sox are 3-10, but they do snap like a 7 or 8 game losing streak. The Red Sox are now under 500. And super quick, we're not going to show up, but a tip of the cap to Davis Martin. He held the Red Sox to 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts over 6. Boston did pick a perfect day to get pantsed because Marcus Stroman and the Yankees also got pantsed, but in front of like 40,000 people, something like that. His little gimmicks tire out pretty quick when he's giving up 900 runs before getting a single out. Like, it's 3-0 already, and again, there's no outs. He served up an 89-mile-per-hour sinker to Jung Hoo Lee. That's Lee's first home run. His season OPS through 47 games is at 1,000 on the dot. Also, 3 stolen bases, sick defense. He's got a ton of tools, and I just noticed that it's raining, so maybe I'm being too harsh on Stroman, but Lamont, he made it rain too with 2 more RBIs. Again, no outs already. Ryan Yarbrough had to really clean up because Stroman's out the game now. Man, shit, what is going on with Marcus Stroman? By the way, I thought that this ball was hit to Neptune. Wells, he had to settle for an RBI double. I've never really seen that. It was literally off the top of the wall, and it bounced back in. Robbie Ray, he only went 4, but his pitch count was at 98. He had 4 walks. He did carve those 7 strikeouts. More ugly baseball for the Yankees. Wilmer makes it 6-1 on an RBI grounder. It's 7-1 on a wild pitch. Patrick Bailey, how about 8-1? That's a double to right, and now it's 9-1. As Lamont takes a walk with the bases loaded, the ump said, we're done. Like, actually, they called this game, so the Giants are the 3rd team in baseball to 10 wins. Who needs Andres Jimenez? Okay, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but Gabriel Arias had this has to be his best game so far. He snatched a rocket. I think that he can make every play that Andres can. Maybe not every play. I've been a fanboy of this guy for years, okay? He came up later with 2 on after India gifted Gabriel 2 base runners, and he just threw the ball wide. Arias, my lord, how? He's a second baseman. Not many second basemen can go that far the other way and pimp it. He has some of the best bat speed, not just of any infielder, but of anyone in baseball. He's really trying to make sure that Juan Brito gets enough maturation time in the minor leagues before getting the call. Wait, Arias is at it again. Another web gem. He makes the over-the-shoulder grab. He used that cannon of an arm to double up Salvi, and now he's throwing across his body. I know I'm being a little bit dramatic. These aren't the craziest plays, but this is the Gabriel experience game. I've never seen a strikeout like this, by the way. India, he had it ticked off his knob. Pause. Hedges then had the ball wedged between his chest and arm, so India's actually out. Kwani, he blooped in another run, and you won't believe this, or maybe you will. India's always had brick for hands, and that showed again. He just flat out dropped it. Carlos Santana, the 39-year-old wonder, now has a 360 on base after the RBI. Angel Martinez, he flexed all the tools. He had 3 hits, a walk, a sacrifice fly, and a diving web gem to end it. Tanner Bibee and the Cleveland bullpen combined for 9 shutout, just 5 base hits. The Guardians, they've won 4 in a row. Can they make another magical run to the ALCS or beyond? Back-to-back 7-0 ball games. We actually have some history in this game. After Reese just narrowly kept that one fair for his first extra base hit of the year, Sal Frelick said, appreciate you, Reese. Thanks for getting on base, buddy. And also appreciate the Diamondbacks for thinking that he was bunting. He chopped it right to where Josh Naylor would have been if the infield wasn't playing in. There was a couple of RBI outs to extend it to 3 as Yelich and Contreras not doing too much, but that's what it's about, baby. Doing your job. And a big tip of the cap to Jose Quintana. 7 scoreless in his Brewers debut. He's the guy who made history, by the way, but real quick, Bryce Terang, he's in the 10 RBI club now with 2 more ribbies. He also leads the National League in runs scored after Contreras beat out an infield single. Quintana, the history that he made, he's now the 24th pitcher in the history of baseball to have a W against every single team in baseball. All 30. He's beaten them. Sheesh, the Astros, they shoved the Angels in a locker. They reminded the rest of the West, who's been the big bully of the West for the last half decade. Hey, this is neat though. Mike Trout, he leads baseball in home runs. He has some of the easiest pop and quickest swings you're ever going to see from a right-handed hitter. He has 6 on the year. He's on pace for 75. That's not going to happen, but again, I love these early season paces. The Halos, they went up 1 when Yordan, he broke open the dam. His RBI single was followed by a Christian Walker RBI, so the bases are now loaded for the bases-loaded machine, Jeimer. He came into this at-bat hitting 345, so now it's like 360 or something like that. That's a grand slam. He saved his first extra base hit of the season for the perfect moment. He wants another one, but not enough juice on that one. He has to settle for a double and 5 RBIs. Poor Andre Diaz. Cam, the rookie, Cam Smith, this one did have enough juice. His first big league tater. Izak, he turned on one as well. Every single home run in Izak Paredes' career, all 73 of them, have been pulled to left field. Texas, they can actually reclaim sole possession of first place if Jorge Polanco, he did not get beat on the 95 fastball. Father Time is undefeated, and it's just kind of sad watching Jacob throw 95 when he used to throw 102. I mean, the only guy who's really beating Father Time is Aroldis Chapman. By the way, Polanco is now hitting .419 with 3 home runs. Rowdy. Hey now, that one was at 96, so maybe Jacob can slowly build up to triple digits as the season goes on, but Rowdy tagged him. And lucky for DeGrom, his offense actually kind of picked him up. Well, not everyone, was kind of just Josh Young. He plays Adolis Garcia. Josh is a tall guy, but not tall enough. That's just over his glove. JP Crawford, he stole that Young RBI, but Josh, he's still a very large human, so he can do large human things. That is a game time. Look at that. A 2-run home run the other way. He has an RBI in 4 consecutive games and multiple base hits in 3 of his first 5 games this year. Did Cal just do it? Did Cal trade 2-run home runs? He did. That's a record. 96 home runs is a Seattle record for catchers, passing Mike Zunino. Andres Munoz now has 5 saves, and I'm telling you guys, Seattle, they've been on the cusp of being a powerhouse for like 2 or 3 years. They just need the offense to show up, and they still have a lot of work to do. They are dead last in batting average with runners in scoring position, so that was a big game for them. Here we go, 2 games in a row that ended 7-6. Let's start with this Mets and A's contest because we have former Met Luis Severino. He said that he wanted to stay with the Mets, but they wouldn't budge over like $6 million. Anyway, stop yapping. Look at Jacob Wilson. What can't this kid do? The Jeter throw. Skipping to the third, Brandon Nimmo, he socked his 3rd of the year. He has such a quick swing. He just gets his hands through the zone so easily. The Mets, they started spraying doubles. Luis Torrens, RBI double. Pete Alonso, same thing, RBI 2-bagger. Starling Marte, a 2-run double. Lindor and Soto both come across. The Mets are kind of running away with it. I can't miss this though. Jacob Wilson, the hit streak is on the line. Bang! Make it 14 games in a row to begin 2025. He leads everyone with 20 hits. Okay, I lied a little bit. He's tied with Kyle Tucker, but he's done it in 10 fewer at-bats. Attaboy, Miguel Andujar, the former almost Rookie of the Year. He got beat by Shohei Ohtani. I still can't believe that happened. Andujar is quietly hitting over 300 his first 42 at-bats. Pete is very loudly hitting over 300. He's batting .370 after his 4th home run. He has 18 home runs. He's top like 0%, meaning he's the top guy with exit velocities and all that crazy sabermetrics jazz. Good thing that he did that because the A's are lighting up Edwin. He looked like Ed Luz. Shea doubled in Butler. JJ brought it within 1 on a sac fly. And now Diaz has to face the kid who doesn't get out. And he got out. Sugar has 3 saves. The broadcast put it best. He bended, but he didn't break. Carlos Correa is so damn good. How in the world does anyone sit back and pull that pitch? The Twins, they're up early. Wait, they gave that run back on an error when Correa, he tacked on another RBI, and Buxton, he grounded into a fielder's choice. And I got to correct myself real quick. I've been saying that you never get an RBI on a fielder's choice, but you do get an RBI if it's not a double play and the runner was going home the entire time. So give Buxton an RBI. You don't get an RBI if the runner was rounding third and not going home the entire time. So no RBIs on stuff like that. Now, speaking of rounding third, look at Buxton fly. He looks healthy, and Eddie Julian, he's trying to prove that 2024 was a fluke. Man, this Tigers team does not quit. Zach McKinstry, who is this guy? That is a 2-run knock. He's batting .350 with 8 RBIs after that cut. Dylan Dingler, he's been really good as well. And here's another RBI fielder's choice. Detroit is now winning, and they're winning even more. Colt, he dropped it into left field. Carey, he beats the throw. Buxton just went to the second deck though. 108 off the bat. I think that ball was in the air for 6 or 7 seconds. Minnesota is going to score another run. So good thing Javi ripped an RBI double for a big time 7th run. Javi's hitting .315. I never thought I would say that this early in the season. Ty France, this guy doesn't miss. He has 7 base hits and 5 RBIs his last 3 games. But just like the A's, it was a little, too late. As Canley, he ends it. He has 2 saves. We have a catcher playing second base. Mason Wynn had some back spasms, so Pedro Pajes is out there at second. Thomas Sajaci, he slides the shortstop, and staying with shortstops. Look at Trey running a mile to make that gliding grab. He fires the home, and Lars, he has to stay at third base. Nola got Noel Lynn to bounce out right back to him, and he and Andre Pallante were both great through 4. Operative words, though, through 4 as Yohel Pozo, what a name, he peppered an RBI double down the line, and he ends up scoring on a bases loaded walk a few moments later, give Brendan Donovan that RBI. We're going to dim the lights now. Ryan Helsley, he came in for a 7-pitch 9th inning. He has 2 saves on the year. I can't tell if the Cardinals are good, like a sneaky playoff team, or not. And not that it means much, the loss right there for the Phillies puts the Mets back in first place by a half game. All right, here we go. This is not an RBI. So because Spencer Steer grounded into a double play, the run scores, but it's no RBI. I know 99% of you already know that, but hey, some of you might be newer to baseball, so you might not know that. This is an RBI. Bailey Falter, he walked in 3 in the first inning, almost got out of it, but Jeimer launched a 2-run home run. Ellie, he's flexing that sprinter speed. He stole second base. Bailey walked another one, so both guys are on the move on this wild pitch. Lord have mercy. Endy, he threw it into left field. Skeens, he was on the mic with Apple TV and just watching it all live. Santiago Espinal, I keep forgetting that he's a Red. He took away a base hit. Nice little web gem right there as Brady Singer, he got rocked in the 5th inning. Pham, he doubled in Sawinski. Frazier, he keeps on stealing money somehow. I don't know how he's getting opportunities. That's a home run, sure, but he's batting 171 after batting 202 last year. That 2021 All-Star first half was a complete lie. He's not that good. Okay, Lux, we see a kid. Gavin, he's learning a brand new position. He let it loose to get Endy Rodriguez trying for 2 bases. Ellie, he had a fun little over-the-shoulder catch in the 8th inning as Emilio Pagan. He's been rock solid as the closer. 2 more strikeouts and a 1-2-3 9th. He has 3 saves. The Reds are 6-8. They can be really good if the offense picks up because they have a brutal 203 batting average as a team. The Rays do not have a batting average thus far. They're 5th in baseball in terms of just team batting average. Matt Olson, he's really trying to dig out of that sub-200 batting average he put himself in. He has back-to-back games with an RBI. Brandon Lowe, he tied it in the 3rd thanks to Taylor Wall's speed. Kelnick, he's got a strong arm, but not strong enough there. Danny Jansen, yes sir. Always love seeing the random guy who just does not use batting gloves. It just reminds me of the old, I didn't get to watch the old days. I'm not that old, but still, you guys know what I'm talking about. That was his first of 3 base hits. Morel, he can bat flip this one and not worry about it. His first of the year. He's also batting above 300. I wonder if that can stick. Danny Jansen, I think he makes it a 3 RBI game, or wait, did he have 4? Hold on. Atlanta, they're crushing baseballs. Ozuna now has 2 his last 2. Albies, he's been awful, so he's got to keep this up. Morel had 2 stolen bases in this game. Perfect timing because Jansen's 3rd base hit is a ground rule double, so I think he had 4 RBIs. Morel, he does not score if he doesn't steal that bag. Harris, he weakly taps out, so Fairbanks now has 3 saves. Atlanta has a 219 batting average as a team. Harris, Olsen, Albies, Kelnick, and Arcia are all batting 208 or worse. Edward Cabrera is finally healthy. He missed the first 2 weeks with some blisters. He looked great. He was filling up the strike zone all game long, which doesn't happen very often. He goes 5 scoreless. He punched out a few nationals with a few different pitches, and Mitchell Parker, whoa, he was good, but then he got into some big trouble after a clean first 4. It all started with a hit by pitch. Who the heck is this guy? Javier Sanhoja, he laid down a bunt. He flew down the line. That 5'7" short king, he booked it. Miami, they then hit Mitchell with some deja vu, another bunt, and Graham Pauley, he wasn't even trying for a base hit, but he executed it perfectly. The bases are loaded for Xavier Edwards, and this guy just does not miss very often. It's 2-0 Miami. X, we call him X. He's now batting .320 over his first 113 big league games. That is crazy. He also has 39 stolen bases. That dude can flat out play in the box. Kyle Stowers, I'm happy for him because he kind of got given up on by the Orioles, or maybe they just didn't have enough room. He had a rough debut last year, but 2 RBIs on his 2nd extra base hit of the game. He has a very impressive 385 on base this year. The Marlins, they were having a lot of... Wait, what? They were having a lot of fun until they weren't. Josh Bell, he got all of this hanging pitch. Edward left a meatball in the danger zone. It's 5-2 Miami. Alex Cawley took a walk to load the bases, and Nathaniel Lowe, who didn't even start this game, he's in there. Ooh, he sucked it up to replace Paul DeJong. He kept it fair. A 3-run slicer. James Wood, he did it again. He just will not pull a home run. He's like the anti-Isaac Paredes. Everything is an absolute missile to left field. Alex Call, keep it going, bro. He's batting .435 after this RBI triple, and this is after batting .343 over his last 99 bats last year. The Nationals storm back to take this game as Finnegan now has 5 saves. Well, everyone, that was a big boy recap. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. If you made it until the end, I want you guys just to comment pancakes. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the web gems.
Nice play by Pena. Pena tries to rob him again, and he
pitch. Vientos gets it in the air to right. Butler coming on. Slide. Cue shot at second. Edman.